Coming to you from the Upmarket Studios at Gasworks in beautiful San Buenaventura, California, this is Real VC, a podcast all about Ventura County real estate. My name is Reed Fish. I'm the CEO of Upmarket Media. And man, Katie Connolly, my favorite co-host ever, here with us, the assistant team leader at Keller Williams West Ventura County. Katie, good morning.
Thank you, Reed. So one of the perks, and I may have said this before about being the co-host, is that I get to kind of hand select the guests. So it's always
Not
somebody.
Always. I get to, yeah.
You're in there sometimes, but
I approve. You know, I rubber stamp it.
And I may have said this about all of our guests, that they are amazing people and people that I've hit it off with in life and professional, personal life. But I am so excited about our guest today. Your friendly realtor, Melissa Hunter with eXp Realty, is here in the studio with us today. And
hello.
Welcome.
You know, I do want to say one thing about Katie.
Listen. It's the Katie show now. Don't tell Reed that.
I want to hear it.
If I had to choose, first of all, I think Ventura County needs our own reality show on real estate agents, just kind of like the Housewives of Ventura County, but the real estate agents of Ventura. And Katie would be on the show with me.
Yes. We'd be the stars of the show. We'd hold keys instead of apples.
Oh, yeah.
I would consider watching that.
I was thinking strawberries, actually.
Oh, yes.
Oh man. Well, I think what's a buzz in the real estate world lately, of course, it's interest rates. So the Fed lowered their rate, Melissa, and how is that affecting things? Right. And so what the Fed sets the mortgage rate, right?
It is, I think that there's a misconception sometimes about the Fed rate. The good news is the Fed rate affects a lot of things, right? The credit card payment, the car payment when you go out and buy a car, could affect the mortgage bond because the mortgage bond is actually attached to the 10-year Treasury bond, not necessarily the Fed rate completely. So we're going to see a drop in all of those things, which gives people more buying power.
Right.
Amazing. Yeah. And that's one thing that kind of sets Melissa apart too about being a true professional in this field, is that she has a background, not just in real estate, but in all things real estate, Melissa. So kind of what did you do before you were selling houses that kind of led into your success in selling houses?
Well, you know how they say, like, before you were born, you were just a twinkle in my eye. Well, being a real estate agent was just a twinkle in my eye for about 11 years. I was in the lending business, and I got involved in lending right after 9/11. Mm-hmm. So talk about uncertainty. When I talk about with new agents, there's so much uncertainty for them, but I've seen uncertainty like no other. And I got in the business when we just didn't know what was going to happen. But that's, where I started in lending. And at the time, we were still working with paper. We didn't really have any automation. We were picking up the phone. And it was just a completely different experience than what we're working with now.
And then, were you looking over at the other side at the agents and just getting a little jealous? And so you were like, I want to, I got to dip my toe in there.
I'm done with this paperwork.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why being a realtor really appealed to me when I wanted to go after my license is because the lending business had started to change. So it used to be the loan officer did the open house. We were advertising in the paper. We were on foot with realtors, door knocking. We were doing all of the things that real estate agents were doing. And then the rules changed and we were kind of taken out of that component of real estate. And so when that happened, that was my favorite part. So then I was like, well, man, I want to be a part of the party. I want to go to the open house. I want to door knock. I want to make the phone call. And so in order for me to do what I loved, I had to get my real estate license.
Mm-hmm. That's a great success story. I love that. And maybe us as realtors, we make it look a little too fun and easy, right? But we're kind of the life of the party, opening doors and doing all the easy stuff.
Well, yeah, you're all outgoing. I mean, for the most part. Yeah. So, I mean, it fit, like, I guess, yeah, maybe you can see, like, if you're self-aware enough to know your personality, then you can, like, for me, Like I could work the room. I can do that, but I would be terrible at everything else as a realtor. Like like contracts and all that kind of stuff. Oh, no way. So if you just needed the person to walk into the room and crack a joke, okay, I can do that, but I don't know. So maybe I'll just stick in this role.
Yeah. You're doing pretty good for yourself. Well, awesome. So you've been doing real estate now for 11 years. So you've seen some changes here in this profession as well, right?
Oh, yes, most definitely. I think that what I see the most is that this job is simple.
Oh.
I feel like every other guest says it's so hard. I think I just said it was so hard 1 second ago.
Okay, we'll lay it on us then. Here we go.
Simple isn't easy though.
Oh, okay.
You have to do a few things really, really good in order to be a good realtor. Not a whole lot of things, just a few things. Okay. And I think that what I see out there and what I also look at myself for accountability is, am I doing the simple things really well? Am I really working when I say I'm working? Do I really practice real estate? And what does that mean? Just like a doctor, they call doctor practicing medicine. Is he practicing medicine really well? You could apply that to a lot of things. And it's really that simple.
Well, what are the simple things then?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean,
thank you.
Accountability, right? So when you're not practicing real estate, are you practicing? That's simple, right? Like, are you role playing? Do you have an accountability partner? Who are you becoming? Because that's a big part of your career. Like, are you leveling up? Are you scaling up? Are you managing your business? This is a business, and who you're becoming it means everything to your business.
That's interesting. I feel like when I first started, one of my mentors would always ask, like, are they coachable? Are they coachable? And I couldn't wrap my brain around that, because to me, it seemed like this person just wanted to create these kind of minions that were like scripted, just almost non-human. But now it makes so much sense to me, like you said, that we do need to evolve and we do need to constantly be growing, because the business changes all the time and we need to adapt and pivot and even be ahead of it to just stay relevant and to just keep up. Yeah.
Well, coachable, I mean, that means that you're willing to learn, right?
Yep.
And that you're willing to change. So I'm not coachable. I don't like learning or changing. Okay.
Most of us don't. I mean, okay, so the Fed rate dropped. Are we focusing on that, or are we focusing on what we're about to do next year? Do we know what days we're working next year? This is a simple business. Like, do you know how many units you want to close? Like, I mean, Feds drop rates. Well, what if they increase the rate in January next year? Then where are you going to be at if you don't have your calendar and you know what you're going to try to do?
Yeah. And realtors are great at talking, right? Like, I had the Fed rate drop conversation all day yesterday and the day before, but it's like, I can talk about that with my peers, but what are we actually doing to get that information out to the consumers that are then going to buy and sell houses to keep generating business? Like, we're not on action items yet, but like, what are the action items that we as professionals how are we going to share this information and make sure it's accurate? I think you kind of touched on that earlier, that the Fed rate isn't necessarily the mortgage rate. And there's so many factors in determining somebody's mortgage rate that, kind of has to do with the Fed, but not always really, their debt to income ratio, their credit score, like all this stuff. So just because the Fed rate has dropped doesn't mean everyone's now going to qualify, but maybe it's going to work for some people, and we need to communicate that out in the wild.
Most definitely. I mean, for me, the best advice I give my clients right now is, hey, there's some good news out there. Contact your lender. Don't wear a lot of hats, realtors. Be a real estate agent. Don't be a lender. There was a client that I just had the other day that said his first agent that he sat down with, and this agent sounds very, very, very proactive. I just want to tell you that. Nothing but kudos. But this agent sat him down and told him what he could qualify for and what he couldn't qualify for based on his tax returns, she was going into a lot of things. And unfortunately, it discouraged the buyer from seeking a pre-qualification letter from a lender.
Yep. We see that a lot. Realtors sometimes are a little bit of a know-it-all. And I've heard realtors walk through houses and say, oh yeah, you can knock this wall down and make an open kitchen. Or yeah, they're never going to build anything on that lot behind you. You should buy this house. And we really do need to focus on staying in our lane because we don't know everything. Nobody knows everything. But yeah, staying in our lane is a challenge for some. So I hear you on that.
I'm going to stay in my lane and just host this damn show. And we're going to, we are going to take a little break right now. We're going to come back. We're going to have our social media sidebar. And then I know Melissa is great at marketing. So she's going to tell us some of her secrets after the social media sidebar. And then, oh man, we got action items. We're going to have 3 good ones.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
Social media sidebar. We're upmarket.media across all social media. Go check us out and you can see a lot about the show and about all the houses we're shooting. And then of course, go on your podcast app of choice. Melissa, you listen to podcasts. You've got Real VC in there. You've subscribed. I'm sure you've rated us 5 stars. I'm sure you've left a wonderful review. Thank you for all 3 of those things, Melissa. I really appreciate that. Katie, where are we at here?
So you can find me on Instagram at katie.connolly.realtor and same with Facebook, Katie Connolly. My face will pop up, and LinkedIn. And then, of course, you can find me on the Real VC podcast.
Oh, there you go.
On YouTube and wherever you listen to your podcasts.
I never say YouTube. Thank you for saying that. Melissa, how about you? Where are we going to find you?
You can find me at My VC Agent on all 3 platforms, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook.
All
Just
right.
plug in My VC. That's VC as in Ventura County agent.
It's good, like our show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, and so what is your social media strategy? Before we started, you kind of said that you had something you wanted to talk about, so I want to hear it.
Well, one of the things that I want to implement for 2025 is an ongoing calendar of events that I need to post for my business. That's going to be important to me. I was actually paying a service to help me with content, and they were doing a good job. But I think that at this juncture, I need to learn how to do it myself. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with outsourcing. We all have to do that to make sure that our business can go up instead of down. But I definitely want to get involved in the areas that I think my business can come from. And this year I have actually received business from my Facebook page.
Oh, that's great.
That's amazing. I know a handful of professionals and agents out there that are really good at having these like mass community calendars of when the fair is and when the Strawberry Festival. And they've all expressed to me that there's no master like county-wide calendar to see kind of when there's conflicts and stuff. And so I know there was something in Camarillo that was the same time as the X Games or, just all this kind of stuff. And these people that do it, they have to dig deep. They have to go to the County of Ventura website. They have to go to the actual event website and map it out on a calendar. So that's a big project. And hopefully you share that information with everyone.
Yes. If anybody knows of any calendars, please let me know. My VC agent, you can get a hold of me. Message me.
Well, no, it is we just planned this giant party here, and well, when do we do it? And we just okay, it's a Friday night. It's like because all of a sudden you're in, we've been in the fall here, and it's like it's back to school nights, and you don't know which schools, and the realtors, so many are parents, and then you're like, well, Friday night, all these factors go into it, and of course we could have just been blindsided by some giant event that everyone wants to go to, and well.
Yeah, there's Ojai Wine Festivals. There's the Ventura Wine Festivals. There's so much going on all the time, which is great that we get to have that in our beautiful county. So yeah.
By the way, that was an excellent party. Tacos were fantabulous.
Oh yeah, Mother's Tacos. They're coming into Gasworks at the end of the year. I think we're all excited.
I'm gonna say Mother's Taco Works is giving me a little bit of a run for the money with Tacos El Diablo.
Oh yeah. Oh. Yes.
I see those pickled onions right there on that table, and they're looking pretty fantastic. So if you like pickled onions, Mother's Tacos has some pretty spectacular ones.
The other thing is they're going to have what is it? Chelsea, it's like a chorilla. Wait, how do you say it? I don't even know. It's like...
I'm not sure, actually. I have to look at that.
It's a chorilla.
But they're going to have a bar.
A churro bar.
Oh, a churro bar. Okay.
Yeah.
And they're going to have a full mezcal tequila bar.
Yeah.
Oh my
Well, kudos to you, Reed, on doing essentially it was a grand opening, but it was a client appreciation event. I know we've talked with other agents about their client appreciation events, and you did it successfully, and we all came and we loved it.
Well, we got to see how successful it was if we make money from it. If we get people placing more orders. I always hear the realtors are like, oh, I got a deal after that. I did the client appreciation party. Every time I do one, I get one deal out of it. But now the problem for us is, we spent a pretty penny on that thing, and now everyone's like, well, you're going to do another one next year? So, yeah.
Got to keep it going.
Yes, we might. Okay, well, let's take another break, and then we will be back, and we'll talk marketing and end with action items.
Sounds good.
Great.
All right, and let's talk more with Melissa Hunter of eXp Realty. And I hear you're the friendly realtor.
I am a friendly real estate agent.
Is that part of your marketing?
It is. I find myself just gravitating towards that because I not only make a client, but I make a friend. And it's been such a great experience to be a realtor. And I want to urge everybody, like real estate agents, find what really works for you. I know that for me, making friendships is important. Now, I don't scale my business on that though. I know he or she is not going to use me because we have the same dog. And that if you think that, you're wrong. Right. I got that poodle too, except mine's a different color. It's not going to work. You're going to have to be skilled. But I can say that I find myself having friendships for years. And
you get invited to housewarming parties all the time, I'm assuming.
I do, and I attend.
Well, and that's the thing is, it goes back to what we've said over and over again on the show is like authenticity. And so if you have authenticity in your marketing, if you truly are the friendly real estate agent, then why not have that be your tagline, right? Because that's what you embody, and that's what you're working towards in your business, and then just personally.
Most definitely. Recently, I had a client who bought a house sight unseen for me. And she was in a foreign country at the time, Japan. And so when she moved here, she didn't know anything about the US or any of our rules on housing. And so we became friends because she'd always call me and ask me questions. And she remodeled the whole house, and she used my resources and all that good stuff. And then she ended up having to move out of state. And we still kept in touch because she still owned the property. The relationship kept growing and growing for different reasons, all real estate related. Just this summer, she sold the place, and she's leaving California for good for now, but I cried like a baby. Like I really created a friendship with her. Not to say that we can't keep in touch, but it's not going to be the same.
Sure.
I've said that for years, that we spend like 6 weeks, evenings and weekends in constant phone communication, especially with our buyers, our sellers as well. But you're just so intertwined, and their kids are coming, and you're having snacks in your purse for their kids, and you're constant conversation. And then they buy a house, and then they
never see them again.
On to the next.
Yes.
Yeah. You send them your marketing, since we're in the marketing segment.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think relationships and friendships can be, they're very situational, right? That doesn't take anything away from them, but it's just like, if you've ever had a job and you're friends with all your coworkers and then you don't have that job anymore, you never see them again.
True.
Or maybe that one person really sticks and you really are, friends for life. But It's just, I don't know, man. It's just how things go.
People come into our life for a season and a reason.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So, but I think, to understand that though, that you can have those and like going, it's almost like in film sets, I'm sorry, that like everyone is there and they're in like a war together, right? You're in the war zone and you are like super close. It's like summer camp. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to miss you so much. And then, you don't talk to them again. Well, but buying a house it's an intense experience that you share with somebody, right? So that's something that you are going to have that bond forever.
Buying a house is like summer camp. Interesting. Just kidding.
Well, it is. I mean, the intensity of the relationships is like that, right?
So back to marketing. I know, Melissa, we talked a little bit about, when we were off the air, we talked about email marketing. So is that kind of your bread and butter? You've seen success in email marketing?
You know what? I have the same marketing approach that I've had for years. It's a 3-touch system. The 3-touch system has changed because it used to be phone call, mailer, and there was something else, and I can't think of what it was.
How far are we going back here? Was it a Popeye?
It's so far. It's so far back I can't remember.
Store?
I can't even remember.
Was it a park bench?
What it used to be.
All right. Well, what is it now?
Right now, it's text, phone, and email. But I use email a lot, and I use text a lot too. But I don't make it like a novel. I don't bug people. I give people a heads up. I follow up on things that I've sent. And so I'm using those tools pretty strategically. So I consider that my marketing approach is to keep people in the loop on marketing. Newsletter is always good. That's something that I've always wanted to put in my wheelhouse. I haven't done it yet. I'm not going to be dishonest with you guys. I'm going to be honest. There's some things that I really need to get up on my game next year in order to achieve my goals.
Well, and when you say you're doing email, are you doing like email blasts to people, or are you sending like personalized emails about certain things to certain people at certain times? I
do it all.
Okay.
I'm using email to the fullest. I mean, I'm not leaving anything off the table when it comes to email. That is just the most simple thing to use. Like if you're not emailing people, oh my goodness. Mailers are much more difficult because all mailers doing is just putting you in front of the person. They're going to throw it out. They're going to go through their mail and say, they're going to toss it. But if they see a certain, brand or picture and it's constantly in front of them, then they're going to look at you as a real estate leader for sure.
Yeah. And print's a little expensive too. It's expensive and time consuming if you don't have somebody to do it for you, for sure.
Most definitely. Yeah. I mean, as far as like a business approach for me, it's like, what can I afford?
Sure.
And then if whatever I can afford, I'm going to do it well and do it to the fullest.
Execution.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. No matter what you do. Yeah. I mean, if you're just doing a half-assed, it ain't going to work.
You know what? There is a guy once. It's so funny. He came and did a presentation. He was like at the time. So this was early 2000s. This was like 20 years ago. He had the coolest mailing idea. He mailed a dynamite stick.
Huh?
It was a dynamite stick that he would actually put in the mail, and you open up the dynamite stick and then it was a piece of paper. So people are like guaranteed to open that dynamite stick. They're gonna open it. They're gonna read it. And then he would do stuff like, if you didn't hear from him, like if he didn't hear from you, he would even like go as far as like mailing a ripped up letter, like in an envelope. I mean, just the most outrageous things.
Yeah.
And he was like the top realtor in Southern California.
I remember a time like that. I had somebody that would rip, it looked real, but it was a fake $100 bill. And it was like, call me if you want the other half of this. And it was just super cheesy. I think as humans and consumers, we've evolved past that, like to really buying into the cheese. But it's what I'm hearing you say is just like thinking outside the box, right? Doing something that's going to grab the attention of the consumer to get them to look at your face or whatever information you're sharing.
Yes. And if you can't think out of the box, okay, you do have an AI component these days that can tell you how to.
True.
Oh yeah, we got to do an episode about that.
Would we even be involved, or would we just plug in our topics?
Yeah, I got people pitching me. Anyway, well, and so email, and then are you? What are you doing with in-person marketing? So you have the 3 touches. You got text, phone, email. Those are all behind a wall.
Yes.
Right? So what are you doing? How are you getting face-to-face with people?
Open houses are always a good way to get face-to-face, and you can also plan open houses. You can put that on your calendar, and that's the most important part about this kind of stuff is, can you put it on your calendar and can you stick to it and do it? Well, if you tell yourself, I'm going to be at an open house every Saturday or at least 3 Saturdays a month, then you can do that. And so that's something that I've committed myself to, and I've done a lot of business out of, for sure.
That's amazing. And then, planning for the week too, when it comes to open houses, like we have to have it in the MLS by X date, not on Saturday morning. And then we have to have our flyers ready by X date, and then having your open house signs set up in advance, not 10 minutes before. So people can, on their way to the store, they can see it, that they're going to catch it on the way back and stuff like that. I was explaining this to new agents just yesterday on how much prep it takes for open houses. It's not just the 3 hours you spend there if you want it to be successful.
Well, and also if you're in an open house that isn't really creating much traffic, which is likely going to happen these days, then you can take that time to do your social media stuff, and also do a video of the house, video walkthrough, get some views that way through your social media, TikTok, whatever you have to do. And that's more views. That's like an open house amount of people that have walked in.
That is true. That's good.
Yeah, the old multitasking.
Most definitely. The last open house I did, a neighbor said, after the open house, can you come by my house? I want to show you what I did.
You're like, that's exactly what I want to do.
Yeah, I was like, okay, sure. And she had the coolest mom. Her mom had dementia, so she couldn't remember. Like, she had like a 3-minute memory, but it was so cute because she came in the open house with her and she introduced herself a few times. And I acted surprised each time. And then when I went to her house after the open house and I had just seen her mom was doing some gardening in the front of the house. And she looked at me and she goes, "Oh, who are you? Nice to meet you." And I'm like, "Hi, I'm here to see the house." And she was like, "Oh, okay. Does my daughter know you're going to come?" Right. But it was really cute though. I do have to say.
Adventures in real estate. Yeah. We all have these kind of stories. I love them. They never get old.
Yeah, but but that's good though. I mean, you want to get invited over to someone's house afterwards, right? Because that's the person that may want to list their house with you when they're ready to sell, right? That's the whole goal. Well, just to clarify, not the whole goal, but.
It is the goal, except when you see this beautiful, gorgeous single level house in Midtown Ventura with the single mom in there, that got it for the best deal ever. And she's asking me what she should do. And I'm looking at this house like, you're not going to be able to do this somewhere else for the price that you got it for. Right. I mean, I had to be honest with her. She just needs to stay put. And I don't mind telling people that.
Right. Well, right, because ultimately you're a moral person, and in your business, what you're trying to do is get the best outcome for your clients, right? And it's not always your interests and their interests don't always align, other than providing service to them, right?
Yeah, and you know what? At the end of the day, she could be a referral source.
1,000%.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. So we just wrapped up. September was Realtor Safety Month. We just wrapped that up. So going into strangers' houses, I always have to do my little realtor safety plug too.
Okay, good. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Just to be mindful of our surroundings, because we do get those opportunities so often to just go into strangers' houses, and it's with good intent. And most people have good intent, but unfortunately, there are those bad situations that we do hear about. So realtors, be mindful about your safety, whether it's Realtor Safety Month or not, when we're going into other people's houses and letting people into the houses that we are serving in open houses.
Oh, I love it. Thank you, Katie, for that.
Free Realtor Safety commercial.
I love it. And you know what? Being safe out there takes action. So I think that means it is time for our action items. And I think who should I'll go first.
Go.
because I think you might steal mine.
Oh, shoot.
So I want to, so that way she can come up with another one. I think, because we just did it, have a client appreciation party. I mean, that's kind of maybe a big action item where I'd like to do small ones, and it could be an expensive one, or maybe just, just do a small one for a few select clients. But I think getting people together, getting in front of their face, I think it only leads to good things.
Awesome. I'll go next because we'll save Melissa. We'll save the best for the last.
Okay.
So there's always a joke like that the year goes January, February, and then now we're in fourth quarter. It's like October, November, December, like really fast. So Melissa touched on making her calendar for the year before the holidays get, too in front of us and we have too many holiday parties to go to and stuff like that. I challenge realtors to really map out your calendar for the next year, for 2025, to say in December, I'm going to do this and make this many contacts or whatever it may be. Focus on social media, learn a new skill, whatever those 12 months look like. Have almost an action item every month of something that's going to increase your business and something that you're committed to doing. It's my action item.
Love it.
Last but not least, we can't wait.
Well,
Melissa.
Okay. Well, my action item, I had another action item in mind, but I'm going to tell you another action item that just came up. We're going into the holiday season. Holiday season tells us to do a few things. Eat whatever you want. Don't go to the workout class. It's not going to make any sense. Take some time off, right? Do that instead. My action item is do the opposite. Go to the workout class. Keep working. Get your business.
Double down in Q4. I love it.
Yes.
Love it. Love it.
Do the opposite.
The contrarian move. That often pays off.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, Melissa, thank you very much for being on the show. And thank you to all our listeners for listening in.
And thank you to Chelsea. We didn't mention producer Chelsea.
Oh, thank you.
She did a she did a little cameo in the social media sidebar, but and you know what? Thank you to you, Katie, for everything you do. Yeah. So so many thanks. All right. Well, we will be back with more episodes in Q4. We're gonna hit it freaking hard in this podcast. So here, buckle up, people. We are going. All right. Thanks again, Melissa.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, applause. All right.